If you would like to support Mercado Airwaves, visit us at patreon.com/Mercado Airwaves. Find us on iTunes at Mercado Airwaves. Keep up to date with the show on Facebook at Mercado Airwaves. You can see all of Nicole's work at typingwhentipsy.wordpress.com. You can follow Alex on Twitter at Mercado21Alex. Follow Mike on Twitter at mmercado2333 and on Instagram, MikeMercado2333.
What's up, friends? Mike here from Mercado Airwaves. If you missed any one of our past interviews with amazing guests like future Hall of Famer and pound for pound best fighter in the world, UFC flyweight champion Demetrius Mighty Mouse Johnson,
another day at the office, I get to go out there and test my skill.
To award-winning producer, director, and actor Orlando Jones. Orlando, how you doing, buddy?
Hey, sir. I'm good, brother. How you doing?
And all the other interesting guests we've had on. Joining us today is director and writer David Ferrier.
Thanks so much, brother. I appreciate you having me on the show.
MMA legend Chael Sonnen joins us today.
Keep listening to your show. This is great. Thanks, my friend.
Just subscribe to us on iTunes at Mercado Airwaves. And while you're there, please like, review, and rate us, friends. It helps so much. We also have a Patreon for anyone who would like to support the show. Just visit us at patreon.com/Mercado Airwaves and see how you can get all of our interviews ad-free and before anyone else, and how you can get your business or company spotlighted on the show. Follow us on Twitter at mmercado2333. Like us on Facebook at Mercado Airwaves. Subscribe to us on YouTube, youtube.com/MikeMercado2333. And if you would like to see what we're up to behind the scenes, follow us on Instagram, MikeMercado2333. Thanks for listening and all the support.
And here we go.
Get ready, get set for the best movie and pop culture talk in the universe. It's the Good Brothers on Mercado Airwaves with your hosts, Alex Mercado and Mike Mercado.
Excelsior, ladies and gentlemen. I am Alex, that is Mike, and we are starting this episode very sadly once again. Seems like we're doing that a lot this year. The Godfather himself, the big man, Stan Lee, has passed away at the age of 95 due to pneumonia. And, I mean, yeah, we're going to basically do a show on Stan Lee. We're going to try to keep it strictly to him and honor the man. He was 95, and I guess I'll start. You know, I don't think we're in this field without him. He kind of revolutionized comic books. He didn't invent them. He didn't even invent some of the characters we think he did, but he revolutionized those characters, and he was the voice of the voiceless before CM Punk. You know, he was an advocate for human rights in general, the gays, the blacks, the browns, even the Irish that came here at a certain time in our country where it wasn't okay to be anything that wasn't born here, white, brown, or black, or, you know, he created something that it was okay to be different, like the X-Men or Fantastic Four, or it was okay to be a kid. Like, even though you're a kid like Peter Parker, you can be a hero, or just, you know, stuff like that. Those are the examples that come top of my head, but, you know, he was just such a beautiful soul in the industry. Everyone knows him. Everyone knows of him. Obviously, the mainstream, it's his cameos. It's he invented these things. And, you know, I think that's one of those things that hits everyone. Almost like a Hugh Hefner, I think a little more even. That name, that it's like, I don't really know much about Stan Lee, but I know Stan Lee. I know the guy with the glasses and the slick back white hair. And he's always saying funny stuff in those Marvel movies. And, you know, Mike, what you can go ahead and say your little eulogy for Stan Lee.
I mean, you really said everything that most of us have been saying the last, 36 hours or so. But I mean, I don't even have to say maybe or there's a chance. Like, there is no Good Brothers without Stan Lee. Like, that's a fact. Like, we could go back and we could thank so many different people and like tie in everything we've ever done to different people, different inspirations and different motivations and whatnot. But at the end of the day, there's only X amount of people that inspired generations to do certain things. And right now, the pop culture world and the entertainment world, a lot of it has to do with Stan Lee. And it's beyond the MCU and when he sold it to Disney and when Marvel wasn't their thing. Like, when you look at the X-Men, and when you look at Spider-Man, and when you look at Fantastic Four, and subtly or not so subtle throughout some years and retrospectively looking like they were the vessel for so many people. Batman's my favorite superhero. I can't relate to Batman.
Yeah.
I can relate to the X-Men. I can relate to Spider-Man. I can relate to Black Panther. Yeah. You can relate to these people. They're fish out of water. They're given responsibilities. They're put in scenarios. It's the miraculous, the amazing, and the mundane. It's that moment of real life meeting the magical. And that's what Stan Lee, Jack Kirby, Steve Ditko, these people brought to us. That's what Steven Spielberg has left for us. That's what Martin Scorsese has left for us.
John Carpenter.
These guys leave stuff for us that us, our generation, the people a little older than us, younger than us, try to stand on these shoulders of great men that inspired. And this is beyond just movies and comics. I'm talking about if you're somebody who's in, the medical field, people who make those jumps when it comes to curing diseases and finding new technologies to prevent and scan these diseases. Greatness comes in so many different forms, and it just so happened that his greatness was bringing joy and characters and way of life to the mainstream. And it wasn't always good. What we see in the MCU right now was later in life. This man had to be humbled, this wasn't genuine niceness because he was a millionaire. This was niceness because he struggled before he became.
Because there was a lot of downs, and he pushed through them, and like you said, it wasn't always good.
No.
Comic books were destroyed for a long time before the movies and the cartoons, like before the 90s. Let's say the 90s and 80s. Like there was a 20-year span where, you were a bad person for making comic books, and he changed that narrative. And I think when people get confused when Mike says like there wouldn't be a show without him, Stan Lee creates Marvel. Marvel, the last 18 years, has become the it thing. It's the new Star Wars, Star Trek put together. It's the new Western. Like, it's big. Everyone knows Marvel movies. They make billions of dollars. And that kind of created the reviews, the podcast, the YouTube channels, even before podcasts. And that led to us. You know what I mean? So it's all a domino effect of him creating this in the 60s and revolutionizing, like Captain America, bringing it back, and Hawk and bringing it back, led to these movies, which led to these certain YouTubers, which led to these certain YouTubers, which led to us watching that, which led to us starting our own podcast. And it's just a domino effect. And Stan Lee, and that's what you hear a lot from these people in reviewers and actors. They're like, that's what started it. Like me watching Spider-Man as a kid made me want to do an acting or be an artist or a director. You know what I mean? Like you hear from Kevin Smith, from... fuck Armie Hammer. For a lot of people, fuck Armie Hammer. We have a song saying on this show. Fuck you. I don't want you being Batman anymore. You're out.
Stupid Lone
Affleck's back
Ranger.
in. Don't be salty, dude.
Yeah.
From it was just so big.
Go
like
down the
everyone.
list. Just go down the list. I mean,
I can literally. We can't because there's so many people.
Jamel Hill, LeBron James, Chris Evans.
We can do a list of athletes,
literally
actors.
everybody.
We can do
Black,
politicians.
white.
We can do a list of this list.
Because guess what, Alex? He made or he was in charge of characters that every person could
Look at
identify
wrestlers.
with.
Look at all the wrestlers
Yes.
that met him at a Comic-Con
Yeah.
or any sort of con. Look at the Power Rangers. Look at
It's a joke.
Look at the sci-fi people.
It's true. And it's a joke going around right now all over social media that everybody seems to have met him except for us. Well, it's true. Like except for us, it seemed like everybody met the man. But like but that's the shit that I go back to. It's like
you're weird for you who don't have a picture
It
with Stan
really-
Lee. I'm like, I guess we're weird if we don't have pictures because everyone's got a picture with Stan Lee.
But you got to think like that's what I mean when like people say, he was just a genuinely nice guy. Because like you said, his big thing to fame was like, oh, cool, you knew what Spider-Man was? Like, and to me, what's amazing is, he was in The Simpsons. It's like the guy is just timeless. Like, he was in
you almost
everything.
did it that time.
Yeah, I did do it one time.
He's switching to comic books.
Yeah.
What's
That,
he's switching on the DC and Marvel ones.
So good.
Okay, so let's kind of get into the honoring the man. What's your favorite? Let's start very simple. What's your favorite Marvel character?
Spider-Man.
I'm gonna go with the Hulk.
If that's okay. Yeah.
Now, do you have one a little more hands-on by him? So like a certain X-Men or Fantastic Four? Because I like Johnny Blaze a lot. I think when I saw him in the movie, it was Chris Evans. Like, I like his snarkiness. He's young. He's cool. He's on fire. He flies. And that was an actual hand-drawn Stan Lee. So so Spider-Man, for you.
I guess
Obviously, the
Spider-Man,
Hulk wasn't
yeah.
his own creation. He revolutionized the
Yeah,
newer Hulk.
right.
The one I like.
Yeah.
But hands-on, I love the Human Torch.
So if we could go into what's funny is Spider-Man debuted in the Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
So he's and I'm looking at it right now. I'm looking on an Iron Man thing right now, and it's just like he was just so influential of it. But easily let's go. I'll go a little bit more not Spider-Man. How about? I've always been a fan of Beast.
Yeah, Beast is great.
I really like
Kelsey
Beast.
Grammer?
Yeah,
I love Kelsey
I like Beast. I like hairy blue beast, not the beast that he gave us originally.
I like Bobby. I like Iceman.
But
I like Iceman
I also like. But how much of that has to do with Jack Kirby too? Like Jack Kirby was just so great that I just like those characters. Like X-Men, I think we're both big X-Men fan. Yeah.
I think obviously there's so many of them. Like it's Wolverine. He's the mascot, even though I personally like Cyclops a little more.
Sure.
I think it's funny looking around your room. Like you can tell what you're mostly a fan of. It's Star Wars and Batman. Yeah. It's like 90% of it, and then you have the occasional
Marvel. It's just my Marvel stuff.
Yeah, but it's like you can tell your favorite character is from what you have naturally. Like I have a lot of Hulk stuff. Yeah. Like and I don't even notice, and I'm like, whoa, yeah, a lot of my stuff is the Incredible Hulk and Superman.
Yeah.
So
for sure.
Okay, so here's a fun one. And give me what is some of your favorite his cameos?
Oh yes.
And we can go back and forth. So one of mine is I love the Avengers Age of Ultron where he's drinking. He's an army vet. Yes. And he has a sip of it. Yeah. And he's just wasted and they're carrying him out. He's like Excelsior.
Yeah, that's a great one.
I love that. That's a good one.
Okay, my favorite MCU. Let's do MCU because he's had video game ones and
okay, yeah, I guess we can do MCU first.
So let's go MCU. My favorite MCU one is probably Thor Ragnarok. When he comes in and he's the one that cuts Chris Hemsworth's hair and he has the mechanical hand, like that to me is probably my favorite one that he's done.
His Avenger one is classic. A bunch of people dressed up. Sounds like a bunch of freaks to me. Yeah. Like he's so angry.
Yeah, he's so good.
What about not MCU? What about obviously the Spider-Man and the X-Men?
The Spider-Man one. I mean that.
Which one?
I was gonna play it right here when the Madam Spider takes to different dimensions and during the Secret Wars episodes of the Spider-Man War.
Oh, you're about the cartoon.
Yeah.
Oh, I was talking about the movies, but the cartoon's good because technically that was one of his first cameos. Yeah, was the cartoon, and
it's one of my
and I saw it on Twitter earlier. Mm-hmm. I thought it was great. I was like, oh my god, I remember that episode. Yeah. Now that you mention it, where he meets Spider-Man in that world. That Stan Lee's the comic one, and I love that one. So what about movie-wise? So like an X-Men, a non-MCU movie, so it's not connected to the plot. I like personally a Spider-Man one again.
Spider-Man.
I like, but mine is weird because it's the Amazing Spider-Man where he's in the library doing the music and the Croc and Spider-Man are fighting behind him.
It's a great one.
And he's just like,
and
like it's getting so close to him, and he's so oblivious to it. I love that one.
I can't remember if it's Spider-Man 1 or 2 where he's talking to Peter on the side.
2.
So it has to be 2 because in part 1 he saves the girl then.
Yeah, part 2.
Yeah,
because that was before he got a lot of speaking roles.
Yeah. What's up, friends? Mike here from Mercado Airwaves. If you missed any one of our past interviews with amazing guests like future Hall of Famer and pound for pound best fighter in the world, UFC flyweight champion Demetrius Mighty Mouse Johnson,
another day at the office, I get to go out there and test my skill.
To award-winning producer, director, and actor Orlando Jones.
Orlando, how you doing, buddy?
Hey, sir. I'm good, brother. How you doing?
And all the other interesting guests we've had on. Joining us today is director and writer David Ferrier.
Thanks so much, brother. I appreciate you having me on the show.
MMA legend Chael Sonnen joins us today.
Keep listening to your show. This is great. Thanks, my friend.
Just subscribe to us on iTunes at Mercado Airwaves. And while you're there, please like, review, and rate us, friends. It helps so much. We also have a Patreon for anyone who would like to support the show. Just visit us at patreon.com/Mercado Airwaves and see how you can get all of our interviews ad-free and before anyone else, and how you can get your business or company spotlighted on the show. Follow us on Twitter at mmercado2333. Like us on Facebook at Mercado Airwaves. Subscribe to us on YouTube, youtube.com/MikeMercado2333. And if you would like to see what we're up to behind the scenes, follow us on Instagram, MikeMercado2333. Thanks for listening and all the support. If you would like to support Mercado Airwaves, visit us at patreon.com/Mercado Airwaves. Find us on iTunes at Mercado Airwaves. Keep up to date with the show on Facebook at Mercado Airwaves. You can see all of Nicole's work at typingwhentipsy.wordpress.com. You can follow Alex on Twitter at Mercado21Alex. Follow Mike on Twitter at mmercado2333 and on Instagram, MikeMercado2333.
Oh my God, there were points where he just showed up and didn't talk.
Yeah, you just,
or was in the background, like X-Men Last Class.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's true. That was one of his first speaking ones. He gives the advice.
But that one was one of those moments where you're like, oh, like Spider-Man is, it is big. And it was a weird moment. I think that was the turning point where Spider-Man finally hit the zeitgeist.
Yeah.
That was it. Like
The movie,
there's
yeah.
no coming back anymore.
Yep.
Like Spider-Man will never go backwards.
Yeah.
Like it's funny because what makes this so timeless is that it took him to his old age in his 70s to get to the point where like his characters will never go backwards. Jack Kirby's characters will never go backwards. These characters never go backwards anymore. Like Iron Man will never be a B character anymore.
No.
You know what I'm saying? Like
Never.
these guys are all A1 types of characters that came from these guys' imaginations. And at the very least, the one thing you always see is like he was very much he was a less crazy Vince McMahon. He had a dust to him where he's like, you could come up with an idea that's a 98 and he'll give you that last 2% that'll be like, this is the idea that you want. It's the Kevin Feige effect. It's like there's certain guys with certain materials where there's good. They get their hands on it and they make it great. And that's what he was, in my opinion. I mean, obviously.
So now, with his recent cameo in the MCU was the Avengers.
Yes.
And
Ant-Man.
But technically, that's during it.
Sure.
Technically.
Sure,
I'm talking about, like, story-wise,
Okay.
he's in the dimension, technically, and he's in space with the aliens, the 3 Watchers. And he's in the astronaut suit. And he's talking about, well, one side was a cowboy, and this, like, he's poking fun at the fact that he knows he's been in all these cameos.
That's the Infinity War.
That's Infinity War.
Okay.
And he's filmed his most recent one for the newest movie.
Yes.
What do you think that scene is? What do you think that cameo is? Do you think it's random, or do you think it all comes back to he's some sort of god in this universe?
Oh,
do you think they're that lucky and they kind of put that in, or do you think it's probably just gonna be fun?
I think they have it as a running gag.
I think it's fun. I think it's fun. I think if they would have known, they would have made him sort of god in that universe. But
I guess the real question is, where do you think it ended? Because I saw somewhere that they said for sure Avengers 4 he's in.
Yeah.
And for sure he's in Captain Marvel.
Did he do a
Far From Home, and did he do a
See, that's what I'm curious about, because we talk about Captain Marvel, but that movie's also it's a prequel to our modern time.
Sure.
So modern time, Stan Lee,
pre-snap.
MCU is in space, and he's aware of all his cameos. He's aware of it. He's talking to these 3 Watchers.
Or is he a Watchers? What you're asking?
Is he like the guy?
Maybe
it could be.
Maybe I think it'd be.
I think you're right. I think it was gonna be more for laughs, and I think now they're like, man, we could have probably made him, but we thought we had more time. We're like, we thought we had a little more. I don't think he's ever had a bad cameo. His cameos are like so fun to look for. Even in Venom, it's this random him yelling out the window, I think.
Yeah.
And like it's a neighbor, and like it's funny. Like
one of my favorite
fun.
cameos from Stan Lee is in the Spider-Man PlayStation 1 game as the narrator.
Yeah.
Like true believers. Because
like, he gets so intense. Yeah. He's like, this is Venom. Yeah, and like you go through all the bad guys, like Oscorp.
Oh, the best one, the Submariner.
The Submariner.
Like, yes, dude. Stanley. I mean, it's just it's crazy. Like I love the fact that we get to, on a mainstream level, we'll get views and we'll get downloads talking about this. And it just goes to show, like, man, I wonder how many times that man thought that it was all for nothing.
And again, he's like Hugh Hefner, where we're like, he's always going to be. It's like Betty White. We're like, you're always there. But then one day you're like, you're not there. And you're like, damn, it's weird. Like, and like you lived a great life, 95. If I could live to 95, thank Jesus.
Yeah,
like,
no, I get it.
And at that success, and he kept working. Like obviously, the last year he was sick. He would spend months sick, months not.
And I don't want to ignore it, but there was apparently some drama with
the
his
money
estates.
And his estates. And luckily, it got settled. His daughter came in and kind of settled it.
Okay.
And she figured it out. But there was a point where, and I'm not blaming anyone. And like I think a lot of social media try blaming the daughter, and it's like, you know, when he's 95, I mean, daughter's about 60, maybe 70 or like 50s. They have their lives. He's got great-great-grandchildren. Like, they're across the country. Yeah. And so you do put people in power of like, hey, I trust this lawyer, and they're going to be in charge of the estate. When
you're making so much money.
And then you found the scamming. Like, you know, it happens. It does happen, people. Like, to the best of us. Like, can you imagine having that much money at that age with that many children, estates? You're dealing with Marvel. You're dealing with this. You know, like, Kevin Smith came in and helped a little bit. They were very close. They lived next to each other.
No mention to it, but his Mallrats appearance was very good. That's a very good one. Well, actually, you know what? At the end of the show, we might play one or two Stanley stuff. We'll for sure play the Marvel video. It's about 4 minutes long to end the show that they put up.
Yeah, we'll put it in with everything so everyone can enjoy it.
Yeah. So, I mean, I guess the next thing I wanted to run with you is, what's your favorite, since his legacy has been, you know, I guess at this point, like all the great artists that have established his characters are gone. You know, like they're all kind of.
It's a dying generation.
Yeah,
man.
that generation's gone.
Yeah.
Like that generation.
Stan Lee was really like one of the last. And I don't want to disrespect him. There might be some people still out there, but like he almost is one of the last of his kind of that golden age of artists and comics. And we do have some modern ones that learn from these men hands on.
Yeah, absolutely.
Basically the modern writer, like Jeff Johns, even like these modern guys.
Snyder. I mean, there's so many guys
that started off as that, maybe now are looked at as movie directors.
Yeah,
but they're comic book writers. Like that's where they started. Like that's their niche is writing Wonder Woman and Spider-Man nowadays and the X-Men.
I mean, Todd McFarlane started by drawing Spider-Man, and he ended up doing the Spawn stuff.
Yeah,
you had Liefeld who did Deadpool, which is based basically off of Spider-Man. It's like it continues on like this inspiration just goes on and on and on and on. But he's created this thing. I guess it's a perfect time to just kind of, for fun and since it's his characters, what's been your favorite Marvel movie at this point? Then
MCU?
At the MCU, yeah,
because we have to separate it.
Yeah.
MCU, I think, is probably Infinity War.
Yeah, I agree too. But you know why?
Iron Man's very close second.
But Infinity War almost is the closest thing the Marvel Universe has ever done to making a Kirby, Stanley comic book.
Feels like a comic book. You're like, there's so many characters.
Yeah, this is amazing.
It's obnoxious how many characters we have right now.
Every page you turn, it's like, oh my god.
So now I'd say Iron Man. I think it's also thanks to Favreau working with Stan Lee. Like,
and then Winter Soldier.
Iron Man was great. Winter Soldier. Yeah. I love the original two Spider-Man.
Yeah,
I think those are great.
Yeah.
I don't hate a lot of the X-Men. I love the new installment of the X-Men.
Sure.
I even like Apocalypse to a point.
Yeah.
I love First Class. I just saw First Class the other day.
First Class is really good.
And I am like,
Matthew
First
Vaughn.
Class
Shout out.
holds up.
Yeah, Matthew Vaughn.
Legit.
Yeah.
So I love that one. What about you? What's your favorite right now?
I mean, other than Infinity War, I definitely think Winter Soldier and Civil War go back and forth. I mean, it's hard for me to ignore Iron Man because Iron Man is
Man's great.
It's just the foundation. Though. It's like little did we know what was going to happen with it. And I like the redheaded stepchild of the Incredible Hulk.
You know what's funny is I think his credit. I'm like they give these on the cable now, and I think I've seen every MCU movie at least 10 times straight through. There's really not a bad MCU movie, honestly. Even the worst one. Even Thor the Dark World, you're like, man, there's like a good hour and a half of this movie, though. Like, yeah, there's probably like 30 minutes that's kind of trash.
Sure.
But you're like, I like a lot of this movie. So it's amazing to me that, like, what a high standard they've set and how respected a man could be.
Right.
And, like, how, like I said, just the cons. It impressed me how many wrestlers and non-Marvel people knew him so well from these cons and being like, I met him at Dragon Con and this. I met him at Stabber Con in October. Like, if you Stan Lee was here.
And it's crazy because, like, that's what
he hasn't left.
Yeah, he's never left.
He stayed.
Yeah. But, like, that's the thing, though. It's like he was the crazy uncle we all wish we had.
Yeah.
Like, that's what Mark Hamill said.
Uncle, though.
Yeah. And
Mark Hamill's old as fuck.
Yeah,
he's like the great uncle.
It's great, and like little things like him actually serving in the army, doing a job there. So it's like the man just kind of did it all.
If there's a Mount Rushmore of pop culture, he's on it. Like,
I agree.
He's got to be on it.
I totally agree.
He modern read comic books. Like, he would represent comic books. Like, if DC and Marvel were like, we need someone to represent us, it's Stan Lee. Stan Lee represents comics. He's the name. He's the guy. Like, he's the guy.
What's up, friends? Mike here from Mercado Airwaves. If you missed any one of our past interviews with amazing guests like future Hall of Famer and pound for pound best fighter in the world, UFC flyweight champion Demetrius Mighty Mouse Johnson,
Another day at the office, I get to go out there and test my skill.
to award-winning producer, director, and actor Orlando Jones,
Orlando, how you doing,
Buddy,
buddy?
sir. I'm good, brother. How you doing?
and all the other interesting guests we've had on. Joining us today is director and writer David Ferrier.
Thanks so much, brother. I appreciate you having me on the show.
MMA legend Chael Sonnen joins us today.
Keep listening to your show. This is great. Thanks, my friend.
Just subscribe to us on iTunes at Mercado Airwaves. And while you're there, please like, review, and rate us, friends. It helps so much. We also have a Patreon for anyone who would like to support the show. Just visit us at patreon.com/Mercado Airwaves and see how you can get all of our interviews ad-free and before anyone else, and how you can get your business or company spotlighted on the show. Follow us on Twitter at mmercado2333. Like us on Facebook at Mercado Airwaves. Subscribe to us on YouTube, youtube.com/MikeMercado2333. And if you would like to see what we're up to behind the scenes, follow us on Instagram, MikeMercado2333. Thanks for listening and all the support.
If you would like to support Mercado Airwaves, visit us at patreon.com/Mercado Airwaves. Find us on iTunes at Mercado Airwaves. Keep up to date with the show on Facebook at Mercado Airwaves. You can see all of Nicole's work at typingwhentipsy.wordpress.com. You can follow Alex on Twitter at Mercado21Alex. Follow Mike on Twitter at mmercado2333 and on Instagram, MikeMercado2333.
So I guess the question is, what do you think John Schnepp's first question to Stan Lee is when he sees him?
That's a good one. What's his first question? I don't know. They talked a lot already.
That's true.
They didn't know each other very well. I think at this point they're getting sneak peeks at certain movies.
You think they've already seen part 4 of Avengers?
I hope so.
That's crazy.
Speak to me in a dream, guys.
Yeah,
Tell
let
me
us
what
know
happens.
how great it is.
I already know, but
That's
tell
pretty
me.
insane, man. Like, over the last, year.
Schnepp and him, that one hurt, man. Those both hurt. Obviously, Schnepp, because he was such a young man.
We lost Bowie in the last 2 years.
Young man. Like, they're like, obviously, this one, I told you the other day, I'm like, I can't cry for this. I'm sad. But, like, John Schnepp, I cheered you right. Because he was so young.
Yeah.
And this one, you're like, man, like, I got to celebrate the man. Because 95 years doing what he did, at the time he did it, you're like, you kind of want to say to him and applaud the man. You're like, dude, you did it, man. Like, you lived almost a perfect life. You have, he had a great wife before she passed. Like, he had a life.
Well, he
has children. He had loved ones.
He had the entire journey. Like, I think he's the perfect example of, like, he always had moderate to good success. He had a lot of downs. And at the very end, when he can enjoy it and had the wisdom of it, was when they were at the highest peak for him.
Like, he really, toward the end of his life, got to enjoy it and be like, just be the guy that comes around and be like, hey, this is what I thought when I was writing Spider-Man, Tom Holland, 19. He's like, I'm like 80 years older than you, Tom Holland. Right. And, like, it's funny, like, so he joins that Mount Rushmore of, like, Walt Disney, Stan Lee. Like, they're creating these things that are just more than we ever could have expected to change our culture. And it's fun. And Stan Lee will always be remembered. It's going to suck seeing the first movie that he's not in. That you're like, damn, I'm not getting my Stan Lee cameo. Like, that sucks.
It shows how fragile and, like, I guess it's so cliche about life and everything. But, like, think about it. Like, we've lost Carrie Fisher, David Bowie, Chris Cornell, Chester, Stanley, Jim Neidhart. I mean, countless wrestlers all the time. Like, they just get older. Like, the people that established the pop culture world that, like, now we stand on, they're older now. And, like, we're losing them. And Stan Lee is just one of those scenarios where...
we just lost the voice actor from Space Odyssey, too, this week. And, it's tough because you're losing a lot of these actors because they're at that age. And it's like wrestling. You're like, it happens. We're at the age now where these popular things 70 years ago are finally catching up on us. And these people that we love, these actors from our young age, like these old black and white actors are passing. And thit's finally caught, it's catching up to them. Except for Ric Flair. Beside Ric Flair,
seems to kick out every single chance he gets.
Like, he keeps out. Doing it. He's going to be the Hugh Hefner. He'll live to 95 somehow.
You ain't lying.
He's going to join that Mount Rushmore eventually. But it's just amazing to me that, like, it happens so often. And it's the world we live in now. Like, hey, good things have to end. Like, Carrie Fisher did pass away. And, one day we're all going to, one day it all comes for us. Mark Hamill and... these famous actors and actresses and just people
It's a little
it all comes through. So all you can really do is celebrate. Hope you live long.
Like them.
Hope you leave a statement.
Yep.
And hope you get to enjoy the later parts in your life.
And I think that's so great. And I think we could kind of leave it on that is a life well lived. And it's one of those things where all we can ever wish for when we leave is that people think fondly like we are of Stan Lee.
Yeah, and like when we put the video at the end, there's some great quotes in there. And like really just give it a listen. Like even if you can skip the whole episode, people... But listen to that 4 minutes, and then go back and listen to us because I don't want you skipping it. I like the attention. But for real, like, he was just so well-spoken and so, he got it. He reminds me of our great-grandfather where you're like, well, you're so cool.
You're just cool.
Like, you're so at peace. Yeah. You get it. You know what do you know? Where that wisdom of how are you so chill? Like, we live in this crazy world, but you're living in your world. and you're happy and you're chill and you just serenity. You have this serenity, and he did have a serenity to him.
And it was crazy because like Nicole, our mother, texted me. It was all over my group chat. It was everywhere.
Oh, I had the little kids ask me, like, did you know Stan Lee died? And I'm like, yeah. I'm like, no, I didn't know that.
Yeah, he was everywhere. So, I mean, I guess Excelsior to the
Excelsior.
OG. And until the next great adventure, we get to read of the great Stan Lee. We'll enjoy the legacy that he's left behind. But good brother, it's always a bunch of news that we have in entertainment. We'll kind of rapid fire this because this is a Stanley episode.
Yeah.
So, anything that caught your mind over the last few days that you really want to talk to? I mean, the only thing that Pablo Pascal is going to be in The Mandalorian.
Go tell the people.
So
right?
basically, for all you who are Game of Thrones fans or Narcos fans, Pascal is now going to be the lead in the Mandalorian series that's dropping at the Disney streaming service. Very interesting stuff there. A Hispanic man leading another Star Wars property, and this time it's going to be all about the Mandalorians. For all you who don't know who that is what Boba Fett comes from. And what do you think about that? I mean, obviously he's a huge superstar.
Oh, big win for us, dude. Brown people freaking rule.
But it goes back into what I think John Campea says it best. It's like, just get good actors. Get good talent.
Yeah, he's a great actor.
You're just a great actor.
Like Narcos, he sells a series. And you ask yourself, how are we going to do a series, spoiler alert, where Pablo's only a certain part of it?
Right.
And we got to do a bunch. He's the reason. And in Game of Thrones, in the little time he has, he's amazing.
The Red Viper of Dawn.
Like, he's great. Like, how do you... He's so memorable, and he's not in it that much, people.
Yeah, and it's a great fight scene with the mountain. We also got Ducky and Bunny, because Toy Story 4 drops a teaser / announcement trailer. This one was the same day, only about an hour before Pokemon Detective Pikachu. We'll get to that in a second. But on this one, I actually think they would have been better off had they just dropped the Bunny and Ducky thing first, then dropped Sporky.
I think Sporky was better to go with because Sporky's going to be a part of the story.
Okay.
So apparently, because there were rumors. So the synopsis came out, or
the synopsis.
Synopsis came out, and it was said like, "Hey." At first, we all thought it was going to be looking for Bo Peep, and it still could be a little about that. But from what they're saying, Sporky's important because Sporky was created.
Yeah.
And now he has to find purpose. So Woody, and they're kind of saying the rest of them are accepting that they're going kid, that's their life. But Forky is created. So now it's one of those Buzz Lightyear things where it's like, well, what are you? What is your purpose? Yeah. So I love it. I love the Key and Peele stuff because it's their normal spiel of the security or of the valets.
True Infinity FBI.
You love this making another Toy Story? Yeah. Oh, yeah. Like
so
Infinity
good.
FBI.
Just look it up. It's so funny.
It's great. I can't wait. Toy Story 4. Again, that's something so popular and so big that people were messaging me like, "You hear Toy Story 4?" I'm like, it's been a year.
We've already known,
years. I'm like, I got you.
But let's go to the main event that that doesn't happen without Stanley. But we're getting a Pokemon movie.
We're getting a Pokemon movie. Like, it's a Pokemon movie. This is close to a Pokemon movie you're ever going to get.
This is what I was trying to explain to people. It's like, yes, the title says Detective Pikachu. Yes, Ryan Reynolds is the voice of Pikachu. This is, for all intents and purposes, the closest we will ever get to the studio saying, you want a Pokemon movie? This is it. And I was actually going through some stills of the commercial that I was going on Twitter. There's scenes where Justice Smith is holding a beat-up Pikachu, and then you see what the Bulbasaurs are walking by him on that river scene. So obviously he's in the wild, holding a hurt Pikachu next to Bulbasaur. We're getting adventuring. We're getting journey
parts of it. Like, again, I'm telling you, people, you don't want a Pokemon video game movie.
No.
You don't want the age of, because you're never going to do it justice.
No.
If you told me a mini-series, I'd be excited.
Sure.
A movie? No. This is as good as we're going to get. I don't want, because you can't fit all that in a movie, guys.
No.
And I'm excited. I think we'll talk more about it as it gets closer. This is one of those we will be, I guarantee it slips into conversation the next year until it comes out. Yeah. We're both extremely excited. Yeah. Pokemon was a big part of our lives growing up.
This is definitely one of those, this is probably that new movie that you will hear us just kind of every once in a while talk about it.
Kind of how we talked about Bohemian Rhapsody and Halloween,
Infinity War.
We can't wait.
Right up to it.
Obviously, if this does well, we're going to get a nice Mario, because Mario's going to come out too.
Yeah, and the most important part, the Pokemon look good.
Pokemon look good. Justice Smith, he's from obviously Jurassic World. We looked at and a couple other little things. Yeah. He's a great actor. He's probably going to become a star from this. Anything with Ryan Reynolds is Ryan Reynolds. I agree. So Mike and me had this discussion with our little brother, and They were both right, and I was completely right, but they were half right and half wrong. Ryan Reynolds is big because we talked about it. If you're a comedy fan, you like Ryan Reynolds because he made some classics. Rom-com, if you're an older woman or gentleman, you love Ryan Reynolds because of everything. If you're a superhero fan, he's Deadpool. Of course you love Ryan Reynolds. Now he's Pikachu. Like, there's nowhere he's not.
Yeah.
So I think Ryan Reynolds is a great choice. I think Pokemon sell because look at Pokemon Go.
Yeah.
Like, how big was that? And Pokemon went around for years. Like, Pokemon sells. Everyone loves Pokemon because it's generational. Like, everyone grows up on their own style and their cartoon and the game.
And as we're recording this right now, a new Pokemon game just released. Let's Go Eevee and Let's Go Pikachu
for the
Switch. So it's not like there's still that's the point though. It's like I get where people are like, why does he have to have a voice? Why can't it just be Ash?
It's Hollywood. It's a movie.
It's a movie.
Ash Ketchum sucks.
And here's the truth: you're better off having human characters that people kind of care about that don't drag down the movie, and Pikachu with Ryan Reynolds' voice than anything else, because at least then there's a narrative they could push. Like, they could push certain things.
Guys,
like
Pikachu could have sounded like, man, I'm Pikachu, man.
Yeah, Danny DeVito. Yeah, good stuff.
I love it. So I started It's Always Sunny, and it is hysterical.
Always Sunny is amazing.
Let me give you the box office rundown, because we did have some new leaders. So Dr. Seuss the Grinch pulled in a nice $67 million.
Jesus.
That was like $20 million above projection.
Freaking kids.
Bohemian Rhapsody adds on another 31. Gets it at $100 million. So it hit $100 million in 2 weeks. Overlord, a zombie movie, made $10 million. Not, not bad.
Yeah.
Not bad for what it was. Let's go. The Nutcracker, another $10 million.
Sure.
It's never going to make its money back, so that sucks. And A Star Is Born still at number 5 with $8 million. $178 million total.
That's the movie we all said.
These mofos have already announced that they're going to be singing at the Oscars.
Yeah.
And they haven't even got nominated yet, guys.
Yeah.
Guys, this movie's going to win a lot of awards. At least 3.
None acting, though, other than Lady Gaga.
One
Maybe.
acting.
Yeah, that's it.
It's gonna do exactly what
Everybody
that
said it
stupid
was
movie did. What's that stupid movie I don't like?
La La Land.
Yeah, it's gonna do that. It's gonna win song.
Yeah.
It's gonna win production, some random production thing, and it's gonna win best actress.
Yeah, it's literally,
and that's it.
It's literally doing exactly what
I
it was
still
doing.
think Boy Erased will win best male actor. Lucas Hedges.
Okay.
I think the redheaded he's playing. I think he'll win best actor still. I think Green Book is gonna have a lot of awards.
Okay.
I think Viggo Mortensen's an idiot, and he really killed a lot of his chances dropping an N-word. Even though I get what he was trying to do,
Viggo
but like,
Mortensen,
you can't do that. I'll be honest, we still haven't seen a powerhouse come in Oscar-wise beside A Star Is Born.
Yeah.
Because Beale Street disappointed, First Man disappointed.
Rami Malek. So right now, Rami Malek's
the lead for best actor,
and Ryan Gosling are the two guys who you're like, yeah, they're Ryan Gosling's the favorite.
No,
Still.
that's Rami Malek's the lead.
I think Ryan Gosling's still the favorite.
I will bet you money, just for fun on the show. Let's bet $5.
Okay.
Pizza tip, basically,
Sure.
for WrestleMania.
Sure.
Ryan Gosling doesn't get a nomination.
Oh yeah, no, I'll take that bet.
Movie
all day.
gets a nomination. Okay.
Yeah.
Official
So
bet on the Good Brothers.
Yeah.
Pizza bet for WrestleMania. So who's going to pay for a majority of the pizza? And what's a big old stadium size?
Yeah, that's true.
And we're going to figure out, well, I guess Royal Rumble is more close to the time, but we'll figure out, does Ryan Gosling, I don't think he gets a nomination. I think the movie was such a disaster money-wise, and it got such mediocre reviews. So you have 5 actors. Lucas Hedges, Robbie Malek, Bradley Cooper already all deserving more.
No.
You're probably gonna get Mahershala Ali for Green Book.
Sure.
One spot left. You still have my boy. You still have Steve Carell. He's made a lot of movies. I'm not saying like I said, I can easily be wrong, and I might be wrong. I'll probably be wrong. But I'm gonna go out there and make the statement. Mike's in the majority. I don't think Ryan Gosling gets a nom this year.
Yeah.
I think First Man was such a disappointment. No one really saw it. No one's talking about it anymore like they're talking about A Star Is Born. There's just a lot of male actors. And if it was 10, it's one thing. It's 5. It's a hard 5. I hear homeboy from Get Out that's in Widows is great. He might get a nom as a bad guy. Who knows?
Sure.
What if they want to throw in Adam Driver or a Washington?
Yeah.
Or what if Hugh Jackman's got a movie coming out? The Dick Cheney movie's coming out. 2 politicians right there. I could totally see Ryan Gosling not getting a nom.
I think he's getting a nom.
You're the majority. Yeah. I could totally see it though that he don't get a nom. And you know what? There's a lot of good. You know what? I don't blame anyone because there's a lot of good actors, man. When it comes to actors and actresses, when they do the solid 5, that's the cream of the crop.
Yeah.
Aside Meryl Streep, because she's going to get a nom just for showing up.
Always, yeah, just for showing up. No.
And Denzel. Let's be fair. Denzel also gets a couple nods for showing up.
What does he have this year, though?
Denzel's quiet this year.
Yeah, his son had something with Black Klansman.
What did Denzel? He did Equalizer 2.
Yeah, he hasn't done anything.
Leo didn't do anything. Leo's next year.
For
his movie.
with
Brad Pitt, same thing. But yeah, Hugh Jackman's making a big push
maybe
now.
Maybe Timothy Chalamet this year's finally his.
I think Lucas Hedges takes it over Timothy Chalamet. Because I think Lucas Hedges in Boy Erased is doing a better job than Timothy Chalamet did the year before with Call Me By Your Name, playing that gay character.
Sure.
Russell Crowe could get a nom for this movie, Mike. Like, it's going to be great. I love the actor race because it's so cutthroat with the 5. I love it. Like, I love predictions because when that list comes out, you and me are going to be like, that's bullshit. We're going to get so mad. And then now we got to make our list. Well, okay, like, do we have a Gary Oldman this year? Gary Oldman got his. Steve Carell, man, maybe they'll give him his finally. Gosling, I hope he doesn't get nominated because he kind of sucked.
You're an idiot. Well,
he's kind of an ass.
What's up, friends? Mike here from Mercado Airwaves. If you missed any one of our past interviews with amazing guests like future Hall of Famer and pound for pound best fighter in the world, UFC flyweight champion Demetrius Mighty Mouse Johnson,
It's another day at the office. I get to go out there and test my skill.
to award-winning producer, director, and actor Orlando Jones,
Orlando, how you doing,
Hey,
buddy?
sir. I'm good, brother. How you doing?
and all the other interesting guests we've had on. Joining us today is director and writer David Ferrier.
Thanks so much, brother. I appreciate you having me on the show.
MMA legend Chael Sonnen joins us today.
Keep listening to your show. This is great. Thanks, my friend.
Just subscribe to us on iTunes at Mercado Airwaves. And while you're there, please like, review, and rate us, friends. It helps so much. We also have a Patreon for anyone who would like to support the show. Just visit us at patreon.com/Mercado Airwaves and see how you can get all of our interviews ad-free and before anyone else, and how you can get your business or company spotlighted on the show. Follow us on Twitter at mmercado2333. Like us on Facebook at Mercado Airwaves. Subscribe to us on YouTube, youtube.com/MikeMercado2333. And if you would like to see what we're up to behind the scenes, follow us on Instagram, MikeMercado2333. Thanks for listening and all the support.
If you would like to support Mercado Airwaves, visit us at patreon.com/Mercado Airwaves. Find us on iTunes at Mercado Airwaves. Keep up to date with the show on Facebook at Mercado Airwaves. You can see all of Nicole's work at typingwhentipsy.wordpress.com. You can follow Alex on Twitter at Mercado21Alex. Follow Mike on Twitter at mmercado2333 and on Instagram, MikeMercado2333.
What else do we got?
TV-wise, first episode without Rick Grimes,
It's bad.
No, actually, the views went up. The views went up and maintained. Guys, the show's better than ever. No one's watching, and that sucks. It's better writing than it has been since season 1. It's better characters than it's been since season 1. We have a better showrunner, and it's not just me bullshitting, guys. It's because we have new showrunner. We have new actors. We have new things. It's better than it has been.
Father Gabriel still sucks, so no. It's the same problem.
Because it's a better writer. Because guess what? Sorry about Stan Lee. There were parts where characters like the X-Men sucked because the people writing for them sucked. Doesn't mean the character sucks. It just means, yeah, we had this guy writing for 3 seasons that kind of was an asshole, and now that he's gone and they're kind of escalating, like I said, it's not must-watch TV. It's better than if you can sit here and say, I watched season 2 through 6, this is better than any of that. The characters are better. The new characters are better. Everybody Morgan, the big contracts. But I get it. People aren't watching. But at the same time, me and Mike say all the time, guys, when we say people aren't watching, we're kind of exaggerating because it's still a really big number for AMC. Like a very obnoxious number. It's just half of what it used to be.
Sure. I don't think it's that good.
No, I know you don't, but you don't watch either. So.
I watch. I've been watching since Rick died.
Then you're nuts because it's better than it has been in a long time.
I think it's the same. I think it's more of the same.
Oh, okay. Well,
I think that's
we'll
my
agree
issue.
to disagree.
Sure. Yeah.
Something we both agree on. Game of Thrones.
We already know.
Came out with their first posters and images, and
every episode will be over 60 minutes.
It better be over 120 minutes.
Yeah,
I better get 8 feature-length films for how long I've waited.
I don't even want to think about it though, because we're still 6
I don't know what to expect.
Yeah.
I hope everyone just blows up at this point. I need you to nuke everyone because I can't handle it.
Just kill everybody.
Just nuke everyone, but Tyrion.
That's so funny.
Let's see. That's all for real TV. You have your stupid shows, but those are still clogged. We haven't got to the crossover yet. When we get to the crossover with Dean Cain and Lois Lane, I'm going to let you talk about it because I'm actually kind of interested for that.
So good.
Adventures of Lois and Clark.
Yes.
Big fans from the Mercado
Yes.
Airwaves.
Yes.
Big fans here, guys.
Yes.
We watched a lot of TBS growing up that we shouldn't have been watching.
Yeah, I love it. I love Adventures of Lois and Clark. But yeah, we'll see that on.
Mike, why are the Bears contenders?
We talked about that in the last episode of Sports from the Couch. Because they have a offensive-minded coach that could get wide receivers open scheme-wise. That's it.
And
It's
we
as
have
simple as that.
Khalil Mack.
Yeah, but not just that. Khalil Mack, Roquan Smith, Eddie Jackson. They have a bunch of studs on that team. Prince Mukamura.
Who's
Kyle
your pick for
Fuller.
the Super Bowl? Super Bowl pick, go.
Chargers, Rams.
I am going...
My original pick preseason was Chargers, Falcons, but I'll go Rams, Chargers now.
Rams, Steelers.
I can see that. I
Yeah,
can totally see
Steelers.
that. Yeah. The Steelers
Yeah.
are just going to get better throughout the season.
Wait, but like the Rams, though? You know the defense is a little sketchy?
I mean, all defenses are sketchy.
That's true.
Like,
Fact.
all defenses are sketchy. Even the Bears defense
Unless
is
you're
sketchy.
playing Oakland.
Unless you're playing Oakland.
God,
But,
Oakland sucks,
but
man.
just as easy, New Orleans could go in and win the whole thing. It all depends on who has home field advantage.
I guess. You were big on New Orleans last year, and I had to...
It took a miracle play from
yeah.
Stephon Diggs for them to get eliminated in a miracle
Hey,
NFC.
I still won that $10, mofo. I still won that $10.
But the only thing I do know is that the Jaguars and the Eagles probably won't be in the playoffs.
Nah, dude, they suck.
Yeah, and they both
You lost to the fucking Cowboys, dude. Yeah.
Well, I mean, you had a team that literally won the Super Bowl and a team that was in the AFC Championship game.
Yeah.
Both will not be in the playoffs.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it goes to show the
football's
NFL.
fun. I think football's fun.
Yeah. No.
I love it. I love when people aren't like undefeated. I love that.
It's crazy.
New England's still New England. That's what's fun. Like they can still do whatever they want. They're New England. Tommy Brady. What if Aaron Rodgers wants to win 8 games in a row? Who knows?
No, I liked your Pittsburgh pick. It makes a little sense.
I like Pittsburgh. I like the no drama with Le'Veon Bell right now, and
Well, now
they're a little, they're a little sketchy, but I like it.
Yeah, check out the episode of Sports from the Couch. We talked a little about that in our interview with Yara Rodriguez. But I think, Alex, that's pretty much everything. We got a little bit of the
Excelsior.
Why don't we go ahead and say bye to the folks, and we'll let Stan Lee and the awesome people of Marvel who made a video of him that you can check up on YouTube, all over social media on Marvel and Stan Lee and everything like that. But good brother, any last thoughts? This was a sad episode, but a reflective episode, and we got some news in. Survivor Series is this weekend. We'll make our picks online and put them up there, but Becky Lynch not there anymore. Daniel Bryan, your new WWE champion. So
Which is weird.
Yeah, we're going to have Daniel Bryan versus Brock Lesnar and Charlotte Flair versus Ronda Rousey. So, I mean, one cool match with Brock and Daniel. And I like Charlotte versus Ronda, but it kind of sucks after the heats and the momentum that Becky has that we're not getting.
I thought it's cool because now push that bitch to WrestleMania.
Yeah, you could push it.
Like,
Yeah,
just push it.
Yeah, but fact is, 2 great matches still.
Oh no, yeah, like
And NXT Takeover.
Oh,
War Games
Takeover's gonna be amazing.
Yeah, so we'll make our picks and we'll post them up online so you guys can make fun of us and make them official. But yeah, I mean, we know we have that coming up this weekend, and then the week after that, we'll have shows up for Thanksgiving week. We'll talk a little bit about Thursday Thanksgiving football.
Are we doing a Thanksgiving special, Mike? Because we've been doing this for a year. Do you want to do a Thanksgiving special?
I guess we can because our episode will be.
You better
up
bring
on
that back. We better put the equipment in the travel bag.
All right, I guess we'll be doing a Thanksgiving special.
I just want to put one out for the fans. It's a year special, Thanksgiving special.
Well, you heard
our
it here,
favorite
man.
holidays. I just announced it.
Excelsior.
It is decided.
All right, guys, sounds good. Well, you guys can catch us everywhere in the universe. We're on Twitter. He's at Mercado2 and Alex. I'm at mmercado2333. You can even follow Nicole at TypeyOneTipsy. We're all on Instagram. She's at TypeyOneTipsy. He's at Mercado2121. I'm at Mike Mercado2333. You can like us on Facebook at Mercado Airwaves. We're on YouTube, youtube.com/Mike Mercado2333. We're on Patreon, patreon.com/Mercado Airwaves. You get all our interviews ad-free and before anybody else with athletes and celebrities. Just visit patreon.com/Mercado Airwaves. Please download us, like, rate, review, and share us anywhere you get your favorite podcasts at Mercado Airwaves. It really helps us out. And a huge thank you to Munch Art Design for powering everything we do here on the Mercado Airwaves Network. For the good brother himself, Alex Mercado.
In the great words of Stan Lee, I don't really need to see a reason to retire as long as I'm having fun.
I'm Mike Mercado. We'll see you on the next episode of the Good Brothers here on the Mercado Airwaves Network. Here's the great Stan Lee and Marvel. Stan Lee gone at the age of 95 years old, leaving an amazing legacy. All the love to the OG himself from the Good Brothers and everywhere on the Mercado Airwaves Network from Nicole, Alex, and myself. Excelsior.
I'm Stan Lee. I've been writing stories for the young generation for the past 30 years. During this time, I think I've learned a lot about what young people think. More importantly, I think I've learned a lot about what young people are. We're going to try to present a voice that somebody will listen to. The voice is needed. We hope it will be ours.
Excelsior! Ladies and gentlemen, the one and only Mr. Stanley. Stan was doing one of his panels, and they asked me to come up and just say hi to him. Felt a little goofy, but I came up, I shook his hand. I think the microphone caught it, but I whispered in his ear. I said, hey, they just wanted me to come up here and shake your hand, but while I'm up here, I want to say thank you. You saved my life. Because the life that I have today, there's a direct line to that first comic book to here.
Well, Stan's best creation was always Stan. As a creative figure is one thing. Stan, as a personality, was able to somehow tap into his own larger-than-life, self-effacing and self-aggrandizing at the same time personality.
As I would describe it, that P.T. Barnum aspect of him, it's just something he infused the group with, and it's something that the people who followed him have been able to kind of keep that energy going.
I think Stan Lee is going to be an icon, what he represents, what he was able to accomplish. He built American mythology because stories are really what stay with us.
Those characters that he created and what he infused Marvel, the brand, with have always shown through.
Even if they have superpower, they have to be believable. What they do has to be what any normal person would do in those situations.
And the idea that he championed all kinds of different voices, all kinds of points of view, and the concept of diversity and equality and conversations about, social politics, all these things he had been doing for years. And now it's at the forefront of everything that we talk about.
I just think he was just connected in that way, and he was connected to who his true audience was and who he was really writing for.
He complemented that with always being hopeful, with his own first-person personality of being Stan.
My earliest memories of Stan were reading those soapboxes. You felt like he was talking directly to you and no one else. What I didn't realize was that there was a kid behind me at the candy store reading the same thing, feeling the exact same way.
His ideology was very clear. It was very black and white, how to be good, how to treat people equally. And that's a really powerful impact, to lean into the light as much as you can, even if there's darkness all around you.
In writing the soapboxes, I used to just talk to the readers, anything that came to my mind, just to make the books not seem like something cold and aloof and something you buy and you throw away. I wanted them to feel buying a Marvel book was like visiting an old friend.
Without that, we wouldn't be experiencing the success we had today.
People like that, creative geniuses like that, you can't help but walk away learning lessons. They have a way of delivering messages that just resonate with those of us who have followed his work and followed the characters he's created.
He made it feel intimate and that anybody could belong to it. We're really lucky to have him really define us, because it's really given us something to move forward with.
There will never be a world without Stan Lee. He's the heart of the Marvel Universe.
What's up, friends? Mike here from Mercado Airwaves. If you missed any one of our past interviews with amazing guests like future Hall of Famer and pound for pound best fighter in the world, UFC flyweight champion Demetrius Mighty Mouse Johnson,
Another day at the office, I get to go out there and test my skill.
to award-winning producer, director, and actor Orlando Jones,
Orlando, how you doing,
How are
buddy?
you, sir? I'm good, brother. How you doing?
and all the other interesting guests we've had on. Joining us today is director and writer David Ferrier.
Thanks so much, brother. I appreciate you having me on the show.
MMA legend Chael Sonnen joins us today.
Keep listening to your show. This is great. Thanks, my friend.
Just subscribe to us on iTunes at Mercado Airwaves. And while you're there, please like, review, and rate us, friends. It helps so much. We also have a Patreon for anyone who would like to support the show. Just visit us at patreon.com/Mercado Airwaves and see how you can get all of our interviews ad-free and before anyone else, and how you can get your business or company spotlighted on the show. Follow us on Twitter at mmercado2333. Like us on Facebook at Mercado Airwaves. Subscribe to us on YouTube, youtube.com/MikeMercado2333. And if you would like to see what we're up to behind the scenes, follow us on Instagram, MikeMercado2333. Thanks for listening and all the support.
If you would like to support Mercado Airwaves, visit us at patreon.com/Mercado Airwaves. Find us on iTunes at Mercado Airwaves. Keep up to date with the show on Facebook at Mercado Airwaves. You can see all of Nicole's work at typingwhentipsy.wordpress.com. You can follow Alex on Twitter at Mercado21Alex. Follow Mike on Twitter at mmercado2333 and on Instagram, Mike Mercado2333.